Welcome to lesson 3 of data analysis fundamentals in healthcare using Microsoft Excel, brought to you by Earth Creations. Today we'll be looking at admission data or hospitalization data. So here we have a table that gives us the total number of admissions from the month of January to the month of June. It gives us the number of hospitalization days, and we are going to calculate the average hospital stay. We also have the number of beds, from which we are going to calculate the bed occupancy rate. So this is very important to get the average hospital stay so that you can know how many days an admitted patient would spend in your hospital on average. Yes, on average, how many days will each admitted patient spend in your hospital? This can help management to take some decisions. So let us say we want to convert this table to a table in Excel. So we can always click inside any of the cells, and then we take Control T. If I take Control T, you see it's asking me that where is the data for your table, and Excel automatically highlights the data. It thinks it should be this one, which is correct. So I just click OK. Automatically it turns into a table. So to calculate the average hospital stay, it's simple. We simply divide the total number of hospitalization days by the number of admissions. So we always start with an equal sign. Say equal to the total number of hospitalization days divided by total number of admissions. So if I hit the enter key, we see that the average hospital stay in the month of January was 3.96 days. And so to get for the other months, we can simply autofill. So you bring your mouse pointer right down, and then you drag across. You give us the average hospitalization day or the average hospital stay for the months of February to June. And to reduce this to one decimal point, we can always come here and click reduce. So we can highlight, first of all, can highlight all of it, and then we come here and reduce the number of decimal points to 1. Okay. So we can plot a bar chart to see the month that had the highest hospitalization stay. So we can highlight from month of January to June, hold the Control key, then we highlight average hospitalization stay. Then we go to insert and we click on recommended chart. So this will give us the recommended chart. You can choose this bar chart, column chart, and we see that the month of February had the highest number of hospitalization, or was the month with the highest average hospital stay. You can choose a line chart. You see that it's February, and the list is in March. So if you click on it, it comes. Then to know the list, you can come to data labels. Click on data labels. No data labels. Should be at the center. So we can always add axis titles, legend, trend line, error bars, and so on. So we can write it. We say that this is the average hospital stay, and then we can have the month here and then the number. So another thing we can do is to plot a column chart with the total number of admissions to see the month that had the highest number of admissions. So we can highlight the month and the number of admissions. We come to insert here and then recommended charts, where we can choose a column chart. You can actually choose this column chart, and then we can right click and then we choose change chart type, and then we can select the type that we like. Maybe we like this one, or this type, or this type. Maybe this one is cool. But will this really give you, can you really see the month with the highest number of admissions here? No. So maybe this one, though I like this one. So we choose this one. And you can change the colors. You can come to fill and choose good one. So this is some sort of data visualization in Excel. You can change the chart title and stuff like that. Okay, so now we want to know the bed occupancy rate. Like on a scale of 1 to 100, what is the percentage of bed occupancy? If the bed is occupied 80% in a month, it means that the bed is overused. If it is occupied 50% in a month, then it's fine. So the reference range here is 60 to 80%. So if your bed occupancy rate is between 60 to 80%, it means the bed is being used appropriately. If it is less than 60%, it means it has less occupancy. And if it is more than 80%, it is overused. So we're going to use a simple formula to calculate it. It's a very simple formula. We're going to use the round function anyway to round it to one decimal place. So we'll simply say equal round. You see the round function appears already. We double click on it, and then we're taking the number of hospitalization days. The number of hospitalization days, that's it. Then we divide, open our bracket, and then the number of beds. So the number of beds in the month of January, we had 20 beds, and then we multiply it by the number of days in the month. So if we multiply by how many days in January? 31 days, right? And then we close the bracket, and since we want to take it to 100, we are going to multiply by 100, and then we round it to one decimal place. Then we close the bracket, hit the enter key. So in the month of January, the bed occupancy rate was 48.5%. So the beds in the hospital were underused. So we didn't have enough admissions compared to the number of beds, the 20 beds that there are. So we cannot autofill in this case because the number of days in the month of February are less than the month of January. But we can copy and paste as formula. So we paste as formula, and then we come up here to the formula bar and change the number of days. In February we have 28 days. Change to 28 days, click outside, hit the enter key. In the month of March, 31 days, right? So we can copy and paste as formula. In the month of April, we can copy, paste as formula, but we come and change the number of days to 30. So that's for the month of the month of April. Then for the month of May, we have 31 days. We can copy the formula from January, paste as a function. For the month of June, there are 30 days. We can copy from April, since there's 30 days as well. We paste as a function. So we see here. So we can actually highlight and give conditional formatting. Highlight all of it, comes to conditional formatting, and we say okay. Highlight cell rows if you are less than any figure that is less than 60, give it a light red color, and any figure that is greater than 80, since that's the reference range, any figure that is greater than 80, still give it a light red color. So we come here, we see that for the whole month from January to June, it's only the month of April that we met our target. So for the month of January, February, March, May and June, the bed occupancy rate were less. So it means that there are so many beds in the facility, and the number of times the beds are used, the average usage is less. So you may want to do some health campaigns and see if there are many people who are sick in the community who are not coming to the hospital, or you may want to give out some beds, or take them out to the store. So that's how it can help you. So let us see. Okay, we have another table here. You can click on it. And we take Control T, change it to a table in Excel. Okay, we have a good table now. We have a good table, which in this case, let's say is the month of January, and you want to see how the number of admissions fluctuated in the different wards in your facility. So we have the pediatrics ward, the male medical ward, the female medical ward, the surgical ward. You have actually gone to the registers to extract the total number of admissions from all that were done in those wards and the number of hospitalization days. And so now we want to calculate the average hospital stay in each ward. We want to know the average number of days that the patient spent in each ward, and we want to know if the beds in those wards were fully used or underused. So in this case, let us calculate the average hospital stay. We have equal to the hospitalization days divided by, why do we have that? Divided by the total number of admissions. Okay, so it gives us for the whole month. We can highlight all of it and reduce the decimal point. So we can go to home and we reduce this decimal points, and we see that the surgical ward had the highest average hospital stay, which is explainable, right? Surgical cases stay in the hospital more than any other cases. So the number of beds, let's give any fictitious data here. Let's say in the pediatrics ward we have 6 beds. In the male medical ward we have 4 beds. Female medical ward 4 beds. In the surgical ward we have how many beds? 6 beds. So let us calculate the bed occupancy rate. Simple. We still use a round function. So we can actually come back here and copy the function here rather than typing it over and over. So we can right click, we copy it. Let's see if it works. We come here, paste as function. No, it won't work because the data is different. So here, simple, equal to, take the round function, then the number of hospitalization days, that's it, and then we divide, we open a bracket, the number of beds. Here we have 6, and then number of beds was the next thing. We multiply by the number of days. Let's say it's the month of January and we have 31 days in the month of January. Close a bracket, and we're taking it to 100, so multiply by 100, and we want to round it to 1 decimal point. So take comma 1, close the bracket, hit the enter key. So you see that Excel is smart to do it for all of it because we converted this to a table in Excel. So it is smart to do that for us. We don't need to autofill. So what do you see? You see that the pediatrics ward, the beds were occupied 93.5 times. That is much, right? So we can do the conditional formatting here. Conditional formatting, highlight zeros greater than, any value greater than 80, give it the light red color. And is there any value less than 60? No. So we see that the beds in the pediatrics ward are small, only 6 beds, and we had up to 43 admissions. And the average hospital stay was 4 days, so each patient spent at least 4 days, or an average of 4 days in the pediatrics ward. And so the beds are overused. So we may want to add more beds in the pediatrics ward, in the main medical ward, and as well as in the surgical ward. So these things will help you to inform management how to run the health facility. Thank you for having followed through this lesson. See you in the next tutorial. Remember to like our channel and subscribe.